So tomorrow, world leaders are gathering for the first ever UN summit on refugees and migrants. And this is like a special summit that's been called because of the, I suppose, the big scale of the refugee crisis around the world. So there'll be leaders there, including Taoirisc Francis Fitzgerald, and the UN summit tomorrow is being co-chaired by Ireland and Jordan. Then the next day, on Tuesday, US President Barack Obama has got a summit on with a smaller selection of world leaders, again looking at the same issue.
And what's the view of Oxfam on this?
Well, we feel that from what we can tell so far, that the outcomes of tomorrow's UN summit are going to be disappointing. We feel they're falling short of what's actually needed to try and support the very vulnerable people who are on the move around the world. 65 million.
Has there been leaks of what's going to happen?
Well, the meeting tomorrow is agreeing a document that's already been drafted and agreed by the member states. So we know from the various changes that document went through over the summer that some of the key things that we would have been looking for are no longer there. For example, there's no clear binding commitments for countries to take a certain percentage of refugees. We've seen some backsliding in some of the commitments that we hoped would be there. For example, EU member states and Russia have blocked commitments to expand the ways for refugees to reach safe havens. Countries like Eritrea have even complained that references to human rights in the document are redundant. And also the United States, which detains Central African children fleeing violence in their home countries, has been resisting moves to stop the detention of young minors, migrant minors, at its border with Mexico. So these issues still remain. I suppose what the real test will come probably on Tuesday when leaders gather for Barack Obama's summit. We don't know a lot yet about what that might look like, or if there will be pledges or commitments made at that.
Do you think Barack Obama is holding this summit on Tuesday because he wants to make more of an impact as regards compared to what was agreed for Monday?
Yes, and there have been reports that Barack Obama is going to make a major announcement on Tuesday, which would dramatically increase the number of refugees that the United States is taking in. It's been reported that he's going to raise the figure from what is currently, I believe, 10,000 to 110,000. So I suppose that makes us believe that perhaps other countries will be using that opportunity to make similar announcements. That's what we're hoping.
Okay, Sorcha, I'll be talking to you again about this issue. It's a huge issue for the last couple of years now. Just to finish up, when we talk about the refugee crisis, and then you have now in America the US presidential election coming up in November, has Oxfam said anything, or do you have an opinion on what Donald Trump is saying about climate change and about refugees? He thinks that there should be no refugees allowed into America, and he believes in exporting or sending millions of people home. And I believe that he didn't even believe that American healthcare development workers should be working on the Ebola crisis. He thinks he shouldn't have done that. Do you have an opinion on any of this election?
Well, I suppose I can only speak for Oxfam Ireland, but I don't think we're able to really make a comment on Trump's policies. I think it's a matter for the election and the American people. I suppose all I can say is generally that Oxfam would be calling on rich countries, including the United States, to make sure they're doing their fair share to resettle refugees and protect refugees and make sure they have safe and legal routes of reaching safety. Amórach a nua airach bei Old Crenew ag na Náisiúin Aontaithe tá agrathe ag Ban Ki-moon ag lé ceist le defach agus in Imircí siad éire agus Jordan co-cathairlí an Crenew seo agus bei polatóirí ar fud an domhan bailithe le chéile bei siad an sin chun síniú chur co-aontú atá déanta acu thar an saoire an príomh-aim a bhí leis an Crenew seo ná teacht a réiteach níos fearr agus níos éifeachtaí chun dailá leis an ggéir céim domhanda agus chun cearta daine iad siúd atá ag bogad timpeall an domhan de bhór cuimhlint agus bochtanas mar sin de a chosint ach a leor na chóra atá is ábhar díma é an co-aontú atá déanta.
An féidir a insin dún faoin comhain tú atá déint agus an fá go bhfuil is a goin go bhfuil ólas gún faoi seo agus an cóthar might é cap an héan tú go bhfuil Barack Obama ag ócád ceann freisin ar an March.
Yeah, so Madra leis an cruniú de chuid Aontaithe muireach tá bhí tíortha agus rialtas á phlé ri an tairí agus leúpla seachtainna nús tá sé feici agin go bhfuil tíortha tar éis fáil ré le cuidnas na PC is far a bhí le teacht an comhaintú sin mar hampla bhí ballstáit a chud Aontas na Hórpach agus an rúis ag churbach le bailí de tefií teacht ar áitina sábháilte a bhéadú mar hampla freisin tá na stáit Aontaithe stoppa chur le aon athrú ar an sais policy tá acu láthar na Hóra páistí in Imircí a chur detention centres nuair tá ag teacht ó Mexico. So do sin dímach ní bheith nílamid súil le go mé aon ol gealúint an na go mé aon sais rud binding toirliú a muireach agus an sin an nód ar gceann ar an mórt bé ceanirí teach le chéile ag olchrinú de chuid Barack Obama ag plé an ábhar céine agus táid ag súil ag an cruniú sin go mé níos mú a teach amachchas sin ó híh beidir galan sin ó híh tíortha rág bhil siad chun méidir chur le líon na tefií atá teacht acu.
Agus cad é thorm na thormaí Oxfam ar an gruniú Mórach agus ar an March?
Well, an tolas atá ginne lár na Hóra ná tá hí Tuairisc agsúla bé Barack Obama ag déanamh ag rá go mé stáit Aontaithe chun méadú mór chur le lína tefií atá teachtain sin, deirtar ghfuil sé chun massam an ghfuil an figur chun athrú ó 10,000 go 100,000. So táid agsúil go mé tíortha eile beidir ag rá rudí cosú le sin agus beidir ag déanamh tuairt ní smú ag teach le chéile ní smú chun réiteachí fád thurmacha a chur le chéile rudí beidir nachhfuil na thuir sin ná a dhéanamh ag an cruniú mórach.
Okay, so go learmuid ní seo an céadú learmuid faoin ábhar seo agus bé muid caiint fí ríis just héh ábhar sort ceangailte sin. An léirgus é céicó ard is a gapan na Stát Aontaithe agus beidir tíortha eile céicó Muice is atá an tíir seo nar tá éireann I go Giannis air an cruniú amóra.
Well, blino hin dogur an gramid chun carabíle tefach a hogasteach ach godí seo nílach beidir breis 3K duine treéis teacht. An muidna so freisin marall gurbí an cean de cócathairlaí an olcruniú amórach san tá Aontaithe gaiimiid níos smíú ceannaireacht a léirú agus má lenimiidir rá tug sé gem lín ar an carabíle sin duine sin a thuairis go héireann agus níl an tám sin ag daoine le fanna caiimiid níos smú dhéanamh mar tír chun fáilte chur ribh níos smú tefií agus fiasa chur ar cosint tefií sé sin obair le tíre eile chun cinntiú go méid bailí sábháilte agus leachach ag daoine chun teacht an charman a lurg in éireann agus a tíortha eile agus chamála sin tá muid géirí cinntiú freisin go méid éireann ag taú leis na tíortha buachta bhfuil tromlocht na tefií láthar na Hóra ó híh cúnamh déancheir.
An é sin an frám a thóg rialtas na hhéireann de mléine?
Ní ha nó just muid ag bra má thug sé blianar chu 3K duine a thuirt tugadh sé is stocha déiteach sé má sé sin an ráta atá gceist beidir go tugadh sé deamlína. Ní hé go gabhamid go tugadh sé deamlínach agus tá sagin bhfuil bachna agsúla an a déim níos Jackar daoine a thuirt go éireann ach tá súlagin go mé gur féidir an próséis sin a dhéanamh níos tapúla.
Hey, 4 míle sagar fáil.
Míle buíochas.